How's it going, guys? So today we're going to be doing a video on B-tiwst, a trick that I'm currently learning, and I want to give you guys some tips to hopefully help you guys land it or make your B-tiwst a little bit better. I'm still working on this trick, so I'm still learning a lot of the fundamentals. So I'm just going to give you what helped me land the trick, and maybe you guys can give me some tips on how I can improve mine. I recommend having something soft to land on. So right here, I've got some foam toppers. These are just from old mattresses. And then underneath that, I've got some puzzle mats. So just a little bit of something to break my fall on top of the grass. I don't need these anymore, but these are really useful for learning it for the first time. It gets the motion of twisting and falling. So I'm just literally trying to make a makeshift crash mat, basically. To start out this trick, one thing that really helped me was watching other trickers do this. So hopefully by the end of the video, I'll have some examples of my own, and then I'll try to throw in some examples of other trickers doing this as well, because being able to watch them and visualize the motions that they're making really helped me figure the trick out. So the first step I would say is learning how to twist and drop yourself onto the mat. So doing this in very slow motion, you're just going to turn your shoulder over and then drop onto the mat. After that, what you guys are going to look for is giving yourself a little bit more lift off the ground and actually jump into it. What's going on? So I'll do a couple of demonstrate here how you would drop yourself safely onto a soft surface, and then I'll show you how to get a little bit more punch into it and some tips on how to actually get that twist going. Alrighty, so I've adjusted the mat so it's kind of a nice soft landing. So I'm just gonna show you guys how to do the setup and how to get that twist going. So we're gonna start just like a butterfly, put your arms out to the right, you're gonna dip down, and then you're gonna pull in for the twist. So I'm gonna turn my head over here, I'm gonna look up towards the sky. So from here, go down, turn, and I'm just gonna give a little bit of a jump and pull in for the twist. This is why you want something soft to land on, because this will just get you used to flipping over onto your back, basically. Here. You can do this with a crash mat, a mattress. This doesn't hurt me at all. If you guys have back problems or you're worried about this, try to find something nice and soft to land on. You can also try to turn a little bit more. It feels a little bit better to land on your side, personally, for me, than your back. The big thing is you want to make sure you don't throw your arms out, because that's how you break your arm. If you're twisting and you're falling, you want to pull in tight. It might knock the wind out of you, but you're not going to get any broken bones. Down, across. And you can see, so I gave it a little bit more twist, and I'm landing on my side now. This hurts my elbow a little bit, but it's not too bad, especially with these. So one last thing. So again, this is just getting used to the twisting motion. Now I want to show you guys how to give it a little bit of more height when you're jumping. So when you guys are jumping, it's the same method as with the butterfly. You're going to be pulling your chest up, pulling your arms in tight. You're going to be kicking back with your right leg. So when you jump, you want to make sure that you're waiting until you're all the way turned around before you actually jump off the ground. If I jump off the ground here, I'm not going to make a very good B-twist, because I have to turn and then twist all the way around. So what I want to do is I want to be able to rotate all the way around before actually throwing that jump. So if I'm going to start facing this direction, I'm going to rotate all the way to here. Rotate all the way to the back before I jump. So to see that from another angle, if I'm coming straight towards the camera, I'm going to rotate all the way to the back side. And then I'm going to twist. It's really important not to cheat your twist on that. If you guys try to twist early, it's going to be a lot harder to land this trick. So now on the jump, what you want to do, you want to get used to this setup, because this setup for me was the hardest part. Actually learning how to do the twist and landing it wasn't that hard. All I just thought was, I'll just jump a little bit higher and I'll pull in really tight. And usually I'll land it. But when I don't land it, a lot of times it's either one of those two things, or I'm doing the setup wrong. And that was the biggest problem in learning this trick. So you need to make sure you're starting from up here, you're dipping a good amount. It's not vital that you dip, you can cheat this, but I find that it helps with height, because your height's coming from throwing your shoulders up in the air and throwing that kick hard. So you come down, dip across, just pull up really, really tight and fast. So it doesn't matter if that beginning part is slow coming through here, but you have to make that once you guys have practiced the setup and once you guys have practiced the twist, it's really just a matter of adding them together. Now the first few you're gonna wanna do on a soft surface, but it gets a lot easier to land them not doing it on that surface. So once you get the hang of the setup as well as the twist, that's really all it is. Landing it is just a matter of putting your feet out and not keeping your feet straight when you're trying to land. A couple of tips for the twist: when you're coming across, when you come down and across, you want to pull your arms in tight, almost like a hook. So as you come across, you come down and then you pull your arm in as if you're punching something, and you're gonna wrap your head in the direction that you're going. For getting more lift on the jump, it's all about kicking. As you come down and across, you just wanna let that leg throw you up and across. This leg isn't gonna give you much twist. Your twist is gonna be initiated from the top end, but this leg is gonna give you height. And that height will really help you in landing the trick. In addition to that, you need to make sure you're getting flat. If you're still kind of doing one of these where you're dipping down, then you're doing 360 and you're standing up, all it is that setup. So go back to your setup, start up here, dip down, across, twist. So I'm gonna try a few on the soft mat and see how it goes. I haven't really warmed up much today, so these are my first few. So this is gonna be a lot like the first part. We just want to actually try to put a little bit more twist into it and see if we can make it over to our knees. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about the twist. I'm punching over really hard, I'm pulling in really tight. Now I'm gonna try to give it a little bit more height. I'm gonna kick a little bit harder, try to bring my shoulders up. All right, I'm just about landing now, so I'm just about landing it now, so I think I'm gonna take some of this stuff away. I'm really not worried about injuring my leg with the way I'm landing. I'm only landing on my knee, maybe putting my hands down. It can be a little bit tricky when you're using mats like this, or even on the grass for the first time. If you're not completely stable, but the grass is a little bit slick, if the mat moves when you hit it, it can be a little bit hard to land the trick. From takeoff, you need to be fairly stable, and on landing, you need to make sure nothing slides. One other thing that I realized is I'm kind of doing this on an uphill slant. It can help if you guys have a slight hill like this, if you actually go downhill. So I'm gonna try that first because that's gonna be a little bit easier, and then I'll try uphill, just as a little challenge. There's the downhill, not too bad. So I think one of the major things was not having to land on the mats and not having to take off from the mats. I definitely felt more stable. I'm gonna try it uphill to see if that was probably part of the factor, but especially if you guys have a downhill slope like this, it really, really helps. Well, it wasn't the most beautiful, but we landed it. So like I was saying, some tips if you're having trouble land it. A lot of times for me, it's just not pulling in tight enough. Just make sure you're hooking around, pulling those arms in tight, because the smaller you can make yourself, the faster you'll rotate. On top of that, one of my biggest mistakes is not jumping high enough. So your jump comes from your shoulders, bringing your head up from the dip, and your back leg. Kicking that back leg hard will get you a lot of height, so you have a lot of time to spin around and land safely. If you guys are having trouble with that kick and that setup, practice your butterflies. If you guys get a nice high and floaty butterfly, that means you're definitely ready to move on to B-twist. If you're having trouble getting that kick out and falling over, losing your balance, go back to the butterflies, drill those, and that will definitely get better. I personally really like this trick. I think it's awesome for learning how to do twists. I think it's gonna be a great gateway for me learning how to do a back full or a corkscrew. It really helps with the twisting motion as well as getting an understanding for your air awareness. Now, the air air awareness required for a B-twist isn't going to be quite the same as doing a back full or a corkscrew, because obviously you're going in a different motion, but it gets you those habits of pulling in tightly and twisting. It can also be great to practice extending your legs out more and more, something that I'm not quite at yet. And you can also do some variations with this trick, like B-twist round. Or, I don't know if that's a B-twist hyper or not. Let me know if you guys figure out whether that's called a B-twist hyper. But if you guys have any questions or any tips on how I can do my B-twist better, let me know. This honestly isn't a crazy difficult move, so I think you guys can get it. It's just gonna take some time and patience. It's a very unnatural movement that we're not quite used to, turning our back to the ground, going completely sideways. So it just takes a little bit of time getting used to, and there's quite a few different ways to learn it. I strongly encourage you guys to go watch as many YouTube videos as possible to get a sense of what the trick looks like and how to do the trick, and then move on to learning how to set yourself up and just drill it over and over and over again. Jump, fall into your side as many times as possible, and eventually you're gonna be like, wow, I'm tired of falling on my side. I'm just gonna like not and land on my feet. So that's kind of how I learned it, and I hope this helps you guys. If you liked it, give it a like, and any feedback, leave it in below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.